Welcome to the channel. My name's Tim, and this is my 2022 Ducati Streetfighter V4S Furio. Now, I've owned this bike since 2022. Bought it brand new with 4 miles on it, and it has been my primary bike. And now you might be wondering, why did I buy this bike? The simple fact is, it's not something I needed, because I had a 2018 Ducati Super Sport S that Mike now owns, was perfectly capable of doing everything that I wanted to do. But like I was getting at, the simple reason why I wanted this bike was I wanted a Panigale, but I wanted something that was more usable day to day, as I daily this bike back and forth to work. This is actually where I'm going right now. And I guess I just wanted the bragging rights of having a 208 horsepower or 200 plus horsepower naked bike that quite literally have the potential to slay everything out on the streets and just be a straight up hoonigan. All right, so this right here is my 2-year review, and let's go on down here to the odometer. 12,000 mile review. So now let's jump straight on in. What is it like? What is this bike like riding? Is it easy to ride? Is it difficult to ride? And honestly, this is the easiest motorcycle to ride, like right out the gate, that I have ever had the opportunity to throw my leg over. I'm not just saying that because it's mine or that it's a Ducati, but legitimately it is. It's super comfortable. You hop on it and you're in an upright seating position. Your knees aren't bent too bad. I'm 6 foot with a 34-inch inseam, and with some minor suspension adjustments, at 200 pounds on average, pretty comfortable and pretty easy to adjust the suspension. You don't have to go and get new springs and everything. The S model comes with the adaptive suspension, which is extremely plush when you're just cruising about, want to be comfortable. And you can go into the menus and make those adjustments. The suspension is completely customizable within the setting menu. Most sport bikes don't like your around town putt, but something that Ducati did within the tuning makes this super easy to be able to go and just putt around a parking lot or traffic. They adjusted this thing very well for street riding, thus it being the Street Fighter. Now, I will say, I gotta be honest with you, I have taken this bike out on many different types of rides. Obviously, this type of ride right here, going back and forth to work, it does really, really well. Out on the freeway, though, it is a naked bike, so you're completely exposed to the wind. And I have gone and tested out the top speed. I did not find the ultimate top speed of this bike. I stopped when the dash stopped reading, which was 188 miles an hour, according to the speedometer. So now, canyon carving, it's great for. Riding around town is great for. Track days, I did quite well. However, the one area This bike does not shine very well, and it would be long distance rides where there is a fair amount of spirited riding. It doesn't, because the range. 4-gallon gas tank, then a thirsty engine. Thirsty. And there's a guy that I know who said that after he put that Austin Racing exhaust system on with the recommended shim tune, that not only did he get an abundance more power, he also got better fuel mileage. Now, the heavy spirited riding, right? I did in our Mount St. Helens video that I did with a Dopo Moto, I ran out on the way back down. Now that was heavy acceleration, heavy high speed over a pretty decent distance, like a 30-mile distance or something. I don't remember exactly. All I know is I ran out of fuel about a quarter mile, maybe a little bit more, from the gas station. And I put that gas station and went up the mountain, came back down the mountain. And on the way back down the mountain, I was taking it easy. And everybody was like, watch out, the Ducati might run out of fuel. Well, the Ducati ran out of fuel. But I was keeping up with the fast guys. And that's something this bike really does well, is complement the rider. Like, this bike is, it's like a weapon when you want to use its capabilities. It having the DNA from the Panigale in the suspension, see, told you to pop on, in the suspension, the chassis, like, it is a weapon, and it's a comfortable weapon. Now, the modifications that I've done to this bike, the necessary one that I recommend is changing out the seat. Get the comfort seat unless you're really short. And that's not a knock on your height. That is because this is a tall bike. But over, say, 100-mile ride with the factory seat, it's uncomfortable. Like, the spot between your butt cheeks and your forward bits, that whole area there will become sore and numb. All right, get the comfort seat. It's a little bit thicker and way more comfortable, and you won't have to worry about that area of your body going numb on a walk through. I put this seat on before I went on that peninsula ride, and oh, I was comfortable. The only downside was with all this extra spirited riding, this being a naked bike, my upper body felt like I did bench press all day long. That was a problem. Okay, so now, the other modification that I did to this bike was installing ASV levers. Installed these levers because I broke one. I broke one of the factory ones. I've dropped this bike one time. And the end of the brake lever broke off. But we had a sponsor come in, ASV, to save the day. Discount code down in the description. But these levers are a big step over the factory levers in the adjustability. So I did a whole video on the ASV levers. Go check it out. Now, the other modification that I've done to this bike, is I installed a tail tighting. My own custom-made tail tighting. And I did not like any of the factory options, or not factory, but the aftermarket options for clearing up the tails. They all wanted some weird license plate bracket, and you had the turn signals on some weird LED bracket. You got this big, beautiful tail light back then. utilize it, because those other options for the turn signal were ridiculous. It's like this little area right here that goes in. It's like a 4-inch section maybe, and you really can't tell if your bike is going to be turning left or right based on where that's at. Now, I went on to eBay and bought a integrated turn signal within the tail light. Okay, it was $100 off of eBay, and I had to do some wiring to get this to work, because it wasn't necessarily plug and play, but I was able to go and make it work. And it looks great. I have not done a video on the tail tidy yet, and I probably should. It would probably do well. Every now and then, I'll get a little warning light up on the dash. I took it into the dealer, and they just said that the bike, because they're LEDs in the in the brake light, the bike registers a different voltage, and it basically is saying, hey, this is potentially burned out. That's it. But it works fine. Comes on, goes off. Turn signals both work all the time. No big deal. And right now, for whatever reason, it's not on. But low fuel light's on, because this is a thirsty mother chugger. And yeah, let's go. I've gone 69 miles. Well, fuel light's on. And I really have not been doing any spirited riding, like heavy wide open throttle, because the weather's been bad. Bad as in raining. Yesterday we had a storm. Like, they called it a cyclone ball. But yeah, I'll put the description for that in the video. But back on topic, the last modification that I made to this bike came with Rosso Corsa 3s, and they're great tires. They're great, actually, all-around tires. Okay, no issue with it. But under full throttle, the rear tire would come unglued. Like, I'd be doing 60 miles an hour on the freeway in first or second gear, floor it. So with the tire warmed up, make that perfectly clear. Tire warmed up, it would spin, traction control would activate. Whoa. I do not know what is going on right here, but taking a detour. Okay. I'm really hoping the audio has turned out well. Got a new microphone set up. But okay, so I went with the Pirelli Super Corsa SP V4s. Great freaking tire, super grippy, does the job like really well. You floor it from a dead stop. After they got a little heat in them, they grip hard. Like, I've used the launch control after I kind of figured out how to use it, though I don't like it. I think it's incredibly difficult on the clutch. Like, very, very rough on the clutch. These Pirelli Super Corsas are freaking phenomenal. Okay, now all of that covered, I know that there's one topic that everybody is like, all right, come on, we know it's a Ducati. The maintenance has to be exuberant. It's basically the Lamborghini of motorcycle. It's gonna be insane. And the truth is, it really hasn't been. Okay? I've done every maintenance, every annual maintenance, a break-in service, everything up to this point. All right? Now, I've done the annual service and oil change, the last two myself. Okay? And that's not because the price at the dealer was insane, because it really wasn't. let me go through this. The break-in service is an overall inspection of the bike. They go and they do a nut and bolt check, as well as they change the oil. That was $400, okay? No big deal, all right? Put into consideration everything that they're doing is reasonable, okay? They go through the entire bike and check to make sure nothing is going to loose. It's a brand new bike from the factory. They go through and they make sure that everything is as it should be. And you'll notice on here there is, I won't boast it right now, I'll put up a picture, but there's witness marks everywhere. Every bolt has got a little paint marker line that goes on the side of the bolt onto whatever bracket that it is bolted to. But there's a lot of bolts, a lot of nuts and bolts on this bike. And you want to make sure that every single one is tight. They go through and do that. They also check the chain and the overall health of the motorcycle. So that was around $400. And then when I did the annual service, it was right around the same, because they go and they do an oil change and an overall inspection of the bike. Now this last one, I called them up, went to go schedule it. It was going to be the same price, around $400. But they said, I was like, what's all included in this year's annual service? I was expecting, you know, some replacement of some parts and whatnot. And they go, well, we've already had your bike in here, and I'll touch on that. Already had your bike in here, and it would just be an oil change. Because the last one, for the one previous to that, let me verify, it was a flush of your brake, clutch, and brake fluids, as well as a coolant flush and oil change, plus the normal inspection. Now the reason why I did the last one myself was because all those things had already been done. Literally, the only thing that was left to do was an oil change. And I wanted to make a video about it, and there is a video in the, there'll be a video card somewhere about the oil change. We tested out the Motul V300 race oil because we were planning on doing some track days. So I wanted to see how that did, and it did amazing. The V300 did exactly what it was supposed to. Okay, so now I said that this thing has had to be in the shop a couple of times, and that is true. There has been one reoccurring issue that has been a thing on these V4 engines. Don't know, I'm assuming that because this was an early one, that it has been remedied by now, and that'd be the water pump. But the water pump is an issue on these bikes, especially mine. I've had three done on it. 3 water pumps done on this bike, and not entirely sure why, and neither does the dealer. The dealer has no idea. Furio looks mean. It's just a badass bike, and I highly recommend them. Highly recommend them, even with the water pump issue, because I'm pretty sure that all the newer ones, it's been resolved. But that is my 2-year 12,000 mile review of this bike. Now, like, comment, subscribe, let me know your thoughts, and I'll catch you on the next drive.